It also reflects, of course, how hard it is to make money in the media nowadays. Times are tough, especially for newspapers. And we can only assume that is why Fairfax Media has recently agreed to take money from the Chinese for spreading their propaganda. 10 days ago, readers of The Age, Sydney Morning Herald and Financial Review received this lift-out in their print editions.
China Watch. All you need to know.
Trade deals benefits are already flowing.
Which came with the telltale admission that it was...
Prepared by China Daily, People's Republic of China.
And that its production...
Did not involve the news or editorial departments.
Of the respective mastheads. 10 years ago, it's inconceivable that an Australian newspaper would distribute PR from China. But you'd have to be a brave Fairfax editor to knock back Chinese cash today. Nevertheless, even if it is just business, there should be some rules, as Sophie Beach of China Digital Times told Media Watch.
The newspapers must be upfront with their readers about what the deal entails and what type of information they are presenting. Is it legitimate news or is it propaganda produced by the Chinese government?
Good question. And here's your answer on the back page of China Watch, with this message about the notorious sovereignty dispute over islands in the South China Sea.
Manila has no leg to stand on. Why China will not accept the ruling or participate in the arbitration case.
Hardly all you need to know about the rights and wrongs of that battle. And continuing the propaganda inside, there's more PR praise for the policies of the Chinese president.
Xi's new diplomacy offers solutions.
But Fairfax isn't alone in taking the Chinese shilling. The Washington Post, Britain's Daily Telegraph and France's Le Figaro published similar lift-outs. And according to Sophie Beach, it's all part of the Chinese Communist Party's new strategy.
Xi Jinping has called on Chinese media and propaganda organs to work to tell China's story to the world, and external propaganda has become a priority of this administration at the highest levels.
Overseeing the new Australian media deals was Kang Bing, Deputy Editor-in-Chief of the China Daily. That's him on the left, shaking hands with Alan Williams, Managing Director of Fairfax's Australian publishing media. And the men clapping in the background? On the left, once again, is Liu Qibao, head of the Communist Party's propaganda department, who controls what media can operate in China. And here he is again in Beijing last month, calling for...
writers and journalists to unite around the party and lead people to follow the party.
Yes, that's what journalists are expected to do in China. Indeed, back in 2013, in what would surely have been the largest exercise of its kind, 250,000 Chinese journalists were required to undergo 3 months training focusing on...
theories on socialism, Marxist view on journalism, preventing false information.
After which they were tested on their knowledge of those important subjects in order to retain their press cards. So, not much chance of frank and fearless journalism in the China Daily. But the new lift-out, which Fairfax defends as just a printing deal, isn't the only way the emerging superpower is spreading its message in Australia. Local Chinese-language media in Australia are also guided from the motherland, as Professor Wanning Cern of UTS explains.
Support and patronage from the People's Republic of China's largesse comes in different shapes and forms, including subsidies, cash injection, content sharing, infrastructural, technological and resource support.
And if local Chinese media outlets play their cards right, the benefits don't stop there. As another well-known China expert, Professor John Fitzgerald, told Media Watch,
there's a lot going for a media firm known for making connections with Beijing. To maintain that position, it has to toe the party line.
And what happens to those that do not conform? According to Sophie Beach, the Chinese Communist Party is ready to...
threaten media or publishers who publish information that runs counter to their official line.
But whether it be local or national media that China is trying to influence, it's not just the readers they're aiming at. According to the ABC's Beijing correspondent Bill Birtles, there's a much broader, long-term strategy.
For China, the hope is that increasing cooperation deals will eventually lead to influence that can reshape the way Australian journalists report on China in a way more agreeable to the leaders in Beijing. The question Australian news companies must ask themselves is whether they are willing to play a part in that.
And that's a question the ABC, with its soft soap China portal Australia Plus, may also need to consider.